million years growing up like a diehard Giants fan I would ever own the jersey of another player for another team. I kind of want to buy a Josh Dobbs Minnesota Vikings jersey. I think he might be like my favorite athlete of all time after what happened yesterday. Put him into the game, doesn't know his teammates, doesn't know like any of the terminology, and goes and beats that idiot Arthur Smith. Oh, like another masterclass from Arthur Smith on how to lose football games yesterday. And now everyone is turning on Arthur Smith. And I can proudly say I was first. I was way ahead of the curve on the Arthur Smith slander. Absolutely love it. By the way, Taylor Heineke starting again this week for Atlanta. Guess it wasn't toxic groupthink. Moron. So love me some Josh Dobbs.
Too. Didn't he shave the mustache today?
He did. Yeah. It's like,
because you were calling him a mustachioed moron. Now you can't call him a mustachioed moron anymore.
Well, he's just a moron. But like, it's like, and the way that everyone like fawns over this guy, like, oh, breaking news, Arthur Smith shaved the. How about like breaking news? Arthur Smith, like, uses the 8th overall pick at running back in the red zone. That would actually be breaking news worth reporting. Arthur Smith does something smart during a game.
The Vikings have started to get discussed for some awards now, because this is like the story of the day, is that Dobbs did this and the Vikings did this, and so many like really like fun, interesting things have been written. So this has manifested itself in two ways. O'Connell, it got his price lowered a lot to win Coach of the Year. The idea being, oh man, like if they made the playoffs with this group, then how much? This is basically the Robert Saleh handicap, except O'Connell has a better chance to do it, to be honest. And then the second player that's seen his price drop a lot is Josh Dobbs for Comeback Player of the Year. And like I won't pretend to say like I know exactly what Comeback Player of the Year is going to be, because to be honest, like, you know what Comeback Player of the Year is? It's whatever everybody decides it to be. And if everybody loves this guy enough, they'll just make it up and give it to him. And like, it doesn't matter what I think, who cares? But like, until I see people doing that, I'm going to be like kind of skeptical that this is like a thing. Coming back from what? He played in a winner-take-all playoff, like almost a playoff game at the end of last season for Tennessee, and got traded a bunch. And was also never, and you're gonna be like, well, Geno Smith was like somebody referred to him as a reclamation project in a conversation I was having, like a hyped guy who kind of like fell from grace and was bad and then was able to get back. Also, he's the needle in a haystack. Players like him never win, and he won, and he's different than this. Dobbs was never good. He was always just like a no-name guy. And now he's having a moment. I had somebody else I was talking to who made a great point. It's almost like if this was the most improved player award like the NBA gives out, then you'd really be cooking here with Dobbs, because he's never really been anything. Now he's in a spot, 3 touchdowns yesterday. He's going to go, maybe go to the playoffs. That makes sense. Comeback Player of the Year, like coming back from what? Like coming back from being bad. Yeah, but that implies that at some point he was good and then got bad and then was good again. Like, where's the arc here? There's no arc. So again, I don't have to be right about that. He's like the third choice in the market to win the award right now. My kind of like not even strong opinion, just my opinion of this is kind of like we're in a bubble with how everybody feels about Josh Dobbs right now. And when we get like 3 weeks out, it'll be like, man, remember when like he got hyped to win this? That didn't make any sense. Like, I think that's what's happening right now. But also, this is the stupidest, weirdest award we have. And what you're seeing in the market is no one knows who's going to win. Everyone's coming to the realization Damar Hamlin won't win. That's happening big time. And everyone's scrambling. Like, well, all right, it's not Hamlin. Maybe this guy. Maybe this guy. And that's what's happening. And Dobbs is the flavor of the week. So of course he's going to get talked about for this weird award that no one knows who's going to get. So like, it's not that he can't win or his price won't drop. They win this game. Where do you think the price is going to? But nobody's like talking yet about whether he would even get votes or how that would make any sense. And until that happens, I can't figure it out. So I can't bet it. So like, it's just, he's the weirdest figure. It's almost like so he's getting an award for like story of the year. Like that's almost like the award that he's getting. And it's like, well, like the award's called Comeback Player of the Year. Can we at least invent a comeback here that like hasn't happened yet or existed?
It should be the Good Vibes Award. That's what it's called, the Good Vibes Award. I think the Vikings are America's team right now. I think the Vikings are going to be like everyone. Like you might have a favorite team, unless like you root for a team in the NFC North. Like you could be a Giants fan, maybe you're a Broncos fan, maybe you're like an Arizona Cardinals fan. But the Minnesota Vikings, I feel like, are going to be everyone's second favorite team now. If like this is what it's going to be, like, how are you not going to love this team? And I understand they won 13 games last year. So, like, they ain't winning 13 games this year. If they go, like, 9-8 with Dobbs or, like, 10-7 and make the playoffs, I understand it's a worse record than last year. I think O'Connell would be my coach of the year for whatever that's worth, which might be nothing. He's 22-1 right now at BetMGM. What about O'Connell coach of the year here quickly, and then we can move on?
So, like, could he win? Sure. Definitely could win. I think he would actually be the first winner who was worse than the year before record-wise. I think that's actually never happened. I went back through my stuff. I think there's a couple times it was like 1 game difference better, but like nobody's ever been worse. And this will be like a lot worse. Like this will be like 3 games worse or something and win. That's not the reason to not bet it. And that's not like, I'm just saying that because it's an interesting note. That has nothing to do with the handicap of this. Because if they make it, no one's going to care. I almost swore on the air. No one's going to care that how many games they won last year. You're totally right about that. It's like a Mike Vrabel thing. Like, oh, well, the Titans made the playoffs. They were really good the year before. Did you see how the injuries that they had? And they got the number 1 seed in the AFC, and he won anyway. So, like, this is kind of the same thing. My only problem with this, so for this to happen, they got to win a lot, and they got to win, like, the next 4, almost. So they close at Bengals, Lions, Packers, at Lions. Like, 3 really tough games in there, to be honest, even for a team that's, like, we're all rooting for. So, like, whatever they're going to do to get to 10, they got to do it right now. Like, you have to beat New Orleans. They're at Denver next week. Got to win that. Home against Chicago. Must win after that. Bye. And then at the Raiders, kind of have to win all 4. Or at least win 3 of 4 to really have, like, a realistic shot at this thing. And I guess they could, like, make it as, like, an 8-9 team if everyone else loses too in the NFC. But, like, okay, if they're 8-9 and they make it, is he winning? No. I think you want them to go over 500 to win Coach of the Year. Okay. If you think O'Connell's a good bet for Coach of the Year and you think Dobbs is a good bet for Comeback Player of the Year, just bet a lot of money on the Vikings this week. You get the money right now. They have to win. If they lose, they like can't win these things. It's like then they're going to beat the Lions a couple times. Like they got to win all these games they can't win almost. You're really putting them behind the 8 ball. The momentum has to keep going for your awards bets to cash. And even if they gain the momentum and they win, there's still no guarantee you're winning anyway. O'Connell could make the playoffs and Dan Campbell wins out and he wins the award. So like then like you don't even get the money. Like you made a good bet that he won't even win. There's a chance Dobbs isn't even eligible for this. So like if you like those 2 awards, my best advice is just like get paid in 6 days then, because if you're right, then they go on this run and they win these games and they make the playoffs. They almost have to win this game. It's not 1-1. Like they can lose and still make it, but man, it's going to be really tough. And like, I think you're just better off betting them going forward. Bet them to go on a run here and get the money really fast. Awards don't pay out for more than 3 months still. Like, I don't want to bet Dobbs 9-1 comeback player of the year when I don't even know if people are going to like treat him that way. If you think this is a real thing, like I'm with you, it has the potential to be a real thing. Just bet the Vikings this week. You get paid this weekend. Like, and you can be right. Oh, I was right. Dobbs they went on this run. Great, now you got the money right now. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. So I think there is almost a 1-to-1 correlation there. That's why I think you don't bet the awards guys right now. It's why I haven't bet Salah. You need him to win like every game. Just bet him in the games. The following prompt. Write a song with punk rock undertones, which is a really good way to put it, about gambling spreads moving too far from their original line, and called Gone Too Far. And we read the first verse during the show. I'll read the chorus is actually quite good too. It's not as good as you just saying gone too far. Like that's what we should actually do. But the chorus is gone too far from the line. Gone too far, it's a steep, steep climb. Gone too far, where the brave dare not tread. The spread's gone too far, it's off the edge.
I'm
like
obsessed
really
with
good.
ChatGPT. Like the integration of "gone too far" basically into every
Yes.
line is spot on here. I don't like the punk
2.
rock slant here, but like,
Yeah.
but I like this.
But you get it, right? Like,
I do.
Hey, Papa Roach, write a song about like spreads that get steamed a lot.
This point
verse
spread
2.
has gone too far. We bet the other side.
Did it?
But Oregon up 17. Now we are poor and we can't buy Christmas gifts.
Georgia,
This
my
line
wall's
has gone too
bleeding.
far.
Verse 2. The underdog's howling. The favorite's tight. The sharks in the water smell blood tonight. This
verse is good. This is like Steely Dan wrote this. This is outstanding.
The numbers are dancing out of sight. We bet on a dream. Now it's a fight. That sounds like Snoop Dogg's gonna say tonight in Monday Night Football.
This is like that's great, a great line. Like this, it's like Springsteen wrote this. This was like actually the second verse of Born to Run.
Oh, margins like knives cut through the crowd, voices so loud, but the line's gone proud. That doesn't make any sense, but that's okay.
Oh, that's
again, it's a computer. Okay. Whatever. What was a whisper is now a shout. This is a scream. Let me out. Let me out.